It's another beautiful Friday. It's another beautiful Friday out there, and of course, for most of us, weekends are meant for sport, and for others, of course, some people weekends are meant for parties. I know a lot of parties out there, and the way we have also the sport in football, a lot of matches that will be going on out there in various centers across the world, and of course here in Nigeria. You are welcome to another edition of 3M Sports Channel, of course, a station where we talk about Nigerian football, Nigerian league, Nigerian national teams, and of course, that is what we are all about to promote our own, so that, of course, we become one of the best in the world. Peter Ekwame is my name, and like we all know, most Nigerians are heartbroken over the result of our match against Zimbabwe in Uyo just some days ago. And of course, some people are still recovering, while some who are optimists, of course, are still very hopeful that Nigeria will go through of course, to the World Cup 2026. Well, all depends on what the approach you take after today. Well, today, of course, on 3M Sports Channel, we'll be looking at the Super Eagles match against Zimbabwe. What went wrong and way forward? Of course, we have some people who will be out there, of course, to discuss this with us. I'll not reveal their name right now. Let's just put them there like an oracle. And of course, talking about the Nigerian league, we'll be looking at the Nigerian Women Football League. We're looking at the Nigerian Premier League itself. Of course, we all know it's becoming interesting as the league moves towards the end of the season. Let's start first with the most prestigious cup in the whole world, of the glamorous cup in the whole world. That is the FA Cup, where the round of 32 will be coming up, of course, on the second for the night of the men, and round of 32, of course, for the women will be on the 5th, where we have matches slated out for this particular days. Yes, for that of the men, we all know that 3SC already been bundled out because they actually feel that the player that ought not to play in the last round, and of course, despite not kicking the ball, they actually been knocked out based on that. And as it is right now, Warri Wolves have moved to the next stage of the FA Cup. You can see that on the screen. We have various matches that we played for that of the men. The Presidential Federation Cup, of course, round of 32. The biggest match will be between Atlanta and Rangers. Remember that Rangers just lost at home to Plateau in the league, and so it's going to be a title for them. They need to, of course, show that yes, they can do it this season as they play Atlanta in the FA Cup. Other matches there, of course, LKME will be. We have about 15 Premier League teams still standing in the Federation Cup, in the Presidential FA Cup, and of course, national league teams are also there. We also have clubs that are not in the league, and also we have NLO clubs also in the league. Also, we have Osun United. We're playing this world of FCT, and of course, we also there. You can see that Mighty Jet Feeders will be playing Aqua United. The Aqua United coach in person of Boboye has promised to win the FA Cup to represent Nigeria in the continent next season. And of course, funny enough, they are also doing well in the Nigeria Premier League at the moment. They've not lost in the last 5 matches. That means Bobo's magic is actually working. And now let's look at that of the women, also round of 32, that will be coming up on the 5th of April. Yes, a lot of matches out there. And one of the most interesting one will be between Kada and Edo Queens. Yes, that's the match I want to watch. I'm based in Kaduna, of course. I want Kada to win. I'm being sentimental. You can't actually take that away from us. Just the way you also, of course, want a team, your team to win. Well, we're supposed to be liberal as it is in sport, but of course, your heart goes to a particular team at a particular time. Yes, you can see up there, Remo ladies. We're playing Plateau United Queens, and of course, you also have you can see Rivers Angels. We're playing Mojie Queens also in one of the matches in the Federation Cup. And of course, the other matches are also lined up for the Federation Cup. It's going to be an interesting one, and we just hope that the NFF will keep to the dates. Of course, we want the season to end May. It's still very possible. Let the FA Cup be the last match of the season to round up the season for the Nigerian football. The way it's been done everywhere, so the clubs will have enough time to prepare for the next night. Hopefully, it's supposed to start in August. And that is the Presidential Federation Cup, of course, fixtures. You can see there on your screen for that of the women. And we pray that we're hoping that it should be an interesting one. And of course, companies will come to put more money into this FA Cup so that it's become more glamorous the way it used to be in those days, where you have smaller teams eliminating big names in the Federation Cup. Well, Well, let's quickly move now to the Nigerian Women Football League. Yes, it's becoming interesting as some teams have continued to go unbeaten. Rivers and Bayelsa, of course, are continue to demolish teams that comes their way. And of course, they are actually doing well in the Group B of the Nigerian Women Football League. Yes, Bayelsa, just over the weekend, just over some days ago, of course, we saw Atland beating Ekiti 1-0, and of course, it was Robo FC Robo beating Benue Queens 8-1. Benue Queens, only God knows how they got to this place. They've been donating points to everybody, just the way Lobby Stars also in the men league are also down the table. Benue Queens, something is wrong with the teams from Benue. I think the government needs to wake up. Well, most of us are promoting private clubs. I think other individuals in the Benue state should come up with stronger teams to, of course, showcase the color of Benue State. Yes, Benue Queens are continuing to donate points and goals to clubs in the Nigerian Women Football League. Yes, we have Danas FC losing to Nasara Amazon. Nasara Amazons actually breathing on the neck of Remo in that Group A. In Group A, of course, Danas, they defeated Danas 3-0. And the Nasara Amazon was the one actually stopped the unbeaten records of Remo ladies. Yes, we saw Remo ladies beating Conference Queens 2-0. Ibom Angels 0, Rivers 1, Asaba 0, Delta Queens 1. We saw Abia Angels losing to Edo Queens 2-1, and it was Nasara. Nigeria Chelsea, of course, beating Adama Queens by 2-0. On the table as it is right now, you have Edo Queens topping their group with 23 points. Remo's ladies are coming second with 18 points and with 22 points. Nasara Amazons, of course, are third with 18 points. Abia Angels with 16 points. Ekiti 9 points. Atlant 8 points. Danas 5 points, and Conference Queens with 3 points. And in the other group, for the Nigerian Women Football League, Bayelsa Queens and Rivers Angels are tied with 23 points. Of course, yet to lose a match for the two of them, and of course, a goal difference between these two teams. Of course, Nigeria Titans are second, are tied with 16 points. FC Robo 13 points. Delta Queens 10 points. Ibom Angels 10 points. Adama 7 points. Benue no points, and of course, considered so many goals. Of course, making it look as if they were sneaked into the Nigeria Women Premier League Division 1. Well, that is it for the Nigerian Women Football League. It's becoming interesting now. We ought to have the person of Samuel Amadu here, of course, an award-winning journalist to talk about the Nigerian Women Football League. Of course, he's not actually available, but hopefully next week he'll be here to give us a breakdown of the happenings in the Nigerian Women Football League. Now, taking to the Nigerian Premier League, good news is that the league board, led by Honorable Elegbele, has actually brought in Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, of course, to continue to start running commentaries on the Nigerian Premier League. Remember, in those days, the likes of Ernest Okonkwo, of course, they made us to know the players' names. Ernest Okonkwo and a lot of them, Femi Toyinbo, a lot of them who ran the commentaries on Nigerian league, and they made it easy for us to know the names of these players. And that is what Elegbele is talking about, that the coming of the great form. They've not lost a match since week 27. Of course, 5 matches so far, and they've not lost a match, and they've moved out of the relegation zone. Of course, it shows coaching, of course, is a big factor when it comes to a team playing football. They've defeated Tornadoes 2-0 in that match, and Remo also defeated Enyimba 2-0. This is the 7th time Enyimba has not been able to beat Remo in the league match, and I think it's a good one. And Remo has continued to, of course, to improve. Like I said in the previous edition, in the last 3 years they came third. Last 2 seasons they've come second. Now they're topping the table. Of course, it's an improvement for this Remo team, and I think it's a good one for other teams to emulate. And of course, Rangers lost at home to Plateau United. I will have the Plateau United coach, of course, to talk with us here. Of course, because Mboaz Mangut, of course, will be talking with us to tell us how it happened and their plans for the remaining matches of the season. Yes, the match between Ikorodu and Katsina United have been postponed. On the table, Remo are still topping with 60 points. Topping with 60 points, and of course, Rivers are second with 52 points. Abia United, of course, are third with 50 points. PSC are fourth with 47 points. Rangers are fifth with 45 points, and Ikorodu are sixth with 45 points. Of course, they have one match outstanding, just like Remo Stars. And on the bottom of the table, of course, it has beginning to change. We've seen Nasarawa United turning out good performance and move them up a bit. So we've seen Aqua move out of the relegation zone, and of course, Robbie are the one that are just rooted at the bottom. The last three teams are going to change every week in weekend matches. Sunshine, of course, second to last with 4 points. That time, who started badly, got improved as the season went on, but suddenly down out to the relegation zone. There with 5 points. The National United at 6 points. While Aqua United are there, of course, on the 18th position with 37 points. Well, let's quickly look at those who are around them for us to discuss the Nigerian Premier League. Before we talk about the major one, Super Eagles performance. Well, so far, we don't have anybody online. I think we'll come back to that later. Well, looking at the Super Eagles match against the Zimbabwe, it was a very, very, very funny one. We all actually expected the Super Eagles, of course, to make a misplay of the Zimbabwe national team, but it was a shock the way they came and they actually broke the heart of Nigerians, only in Super Eagles with 1-1 draw in that particular match. And as it is right now, it has continued to be if and only if, which is a very sad one for the Super Eagles. In fact, that when the draw came out, the offense was really a very easy one, thinking to only be South Africa, of course, that will actually give us headache. But as it is right now, playing 4 draws, it's a sad one. Just we win and making it as if the guy is cast as like there's no hope for the Super Eagles to actually there's no hope for the Super Eagles to qualify for the 2015 World Cup. In that particular match, I'm going to talk about the fact that these are players plays a major role in our team. You can gather 22 stars. If you don't do it properly, you won't get the result. And I still keep wondering why we call 10 strikers, in the 20-man list. I'm not follow that 5 or 6 of them will not play, and they will end up calling 10 strikers. Not going to scout for midfielders. Who always play from the midfield? And I wonder why it looks quite good. Way back on the days of Philippi and Lebaba, continue to use 4 strikers at the same time, making them to play for formation, which has not always been effective. We saw how those sides the midfield. We saw straight passing, no decoy movement, no decoy runs. No, of course, it was difficult to really create an attacking formation. And I think it's a bad one. I think for me, people are blaming NFL, blaming the players. My major blame, of course, go to the coaches who have failed, have continued to fail to use our players properly. Who actually had a good game, was pulled out. That broke the midfield. And one was surprised that you could bring a striker at that crucial moment when we needed to play that goal that we got still had trouble to score. So I think there's need for us to come to the technical to come together and for the most card for more midfielders out there and to bring it to the team. For me, I think I always suggest for us to always call in just 9 or 10 foreign players and have a standing up based team so that we can have a team to understand it. What we saw against Zimbabwe was a team just attacking. There was no particular pattern of attack. We don't want to push the ball into the net forcefully, which of course is not done. It's always very easy for a defender to push ball away from a good striker. If there are no decoy runs, you take the defender away for a striker, of course, run into space to get the goal. That's why it's difficult for Osimhen to get more goals for us. With a good midfield, I think Osimhen will bang in goals with reckless abandonment. And I think technical team need to look at it. Look for more midfielders, have a pattern of play, and to ensure that yes, it becomes easy for us to play against the so-called lower teams in Africa. It's becoming difficult for us to play small teams, just like the Buffet said just some days ago. That it's so funny that the country like Nigeria is trying to play very small countries. And it's either the formation or the use of players. You might get the formation right, but of course the use of players will of course, will definitely always be a problem. Well, let's hope that the technical crew will put their heads together, scout for more midfielders. There's still hope. If the 3 points from South Africa is being deducted, of course, that will be only 3 points gap between us and them. And of course, all we need to do is to win all our matches, including going to beat South Africa, which is very possible to get around there. We have the best of players all around the world. but the problem has always been usage. There's no way you can get it right. You like to bring the best players from everywhere in the world, that proper combination of players into the right formation, you never get it right. And I keep saying the fact that you don't need to call all the strikers scoring goals in Europe. You can have 10 strikers scoring 20 goals in Europe. You don't have to call all the 10 strikers. Look for the ones that you feel will fit into your pattern and call them. The only 3 or 4, good and fine. Not necessarily calling everybody scoring goals in Europe. Don't get right. I remember the days of Jonathan Kogori. He was doing well in Germany, but when it comes to 5 goals, he had to get it right. And of course, he has to be left out. So I think the Africa will have to look at this and ensure that the call players based on need. You can call a player from the NLO that you think can partner well with the player in the league. You can call a player from the NLO that you think will do well with Osimhen, or a player that can partner well with Wobi from the NLO or the NLO. And of course, you get your results. You don't have to call all the big names from Europe to come and play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But let's see if we have somebody online. Who's that? Let's see. I think we have somebody on there with us right now. And I think that's hello, good morning. Good morning. Okay. Sunday Gumbiade is on with us. Sunday Gumbiade is the media officer of Best Talent and is also a sport analyst with Success FM in Ibadan. So Sunday, good morning. Hello, Sunday Gumbiade, good morning. Unmute yourself.
My name is Sunday Agumbiade.
Agumbiade, yes, you're welcome. The 3SC, one of the 3SC.
Yes. I'm calling from Ibadan, Oyo State Capital, and I'm media officer of Football Fans Clubs of Nigeria, FFCN, and now football analyst with the Success FM Ibadan here in Oyo State. Thank you very much, Vincent.
You're welcome to the program. Well, let's quickly look at, before we go to the Super Eagles issue. Let's quickly look at
I can barely hear you.
Okay, just so some minutes. And let's quickly look at the Nigerian Premier League before we talk about the Super Eagles team. So far, we're in week 31, going to week 32, and how would you describe the league this season? And what are the things you think should be brought in come next season?
Well, I think the league so far has been a better one compared to the previous. Considering the part that the officiating appears to be better, then also the standard of football, the standard of the game, the coverage, the fans, and what else? And the kind of sponsorship given to the league. Then also the quick remuneration IGI to the officials, the Nigerian Football Referee Association. We have seen a lot of developments. Not forgetting that I think yesterday or thereabout, the NPFL board led by Honorable Benga also signed a partnership deal with the FRCN for FRCN, the Radio of Nigeria, to give me the live match, and this is a good mileage. This to the NPL. I think so far so good. We have seen a lot of development in Nigeria. In our league.
Yeah, well, let's quickly look at the Super Eagles. The qualifying matches. What do you think are the problem and the way forward? Right now, we are only bent on if and only if, hoping that other teams will make mistakes for us to qualify for the World Cup. Looking at the fact that we have teams like Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Lesotho in our group, we thought that it was to be an easy ride for us. But I think right now, we are still at the 4th position on the group.
With Super Eagles, enrolled to the FIFA World Cup, the beginning actually started from Coach Basero. I didn't expect Nigeria Football Federation to allow Coach Pesero to continue after the AFCON held in Ivory Coast. The kind of football, the kind of Arambo football that the man deploy, used in the competition Nigeria were struggling. We have a lot of people that lost their lives due to the fact that we're playing defensively. We didn't really attack more. If not for the fact that someone like Victor Osimhen and Demola Lookman were very vehement in getting where we got in the final. We didn't really see much from that technical crew led by Coach Parceiro. And when he started the World Cup, when they allowed this man to continue, they all saw that this man has nothing to offer except the commitment of those players that made it happen. And he played 2 matches, he couldn't win any. They allowed in person of Coach Finidi George to take up from where he ended, and he also could not win a single match, meaning that out of the first 4 matches, we only drew 3 matches. So we had 3 points out of possible 12, and that's a failure already. And now we got this man from Mali, Eddie Sepuchel, who played 2 matches, drew 1 and lost 1. And the problem, just like I did say, is a multifaceted, right from the NFF, also to the coaching crew, the kind of coaches and the game management. Imagine the last match against Zimbabwe. We got to the 85 minutes. Everybody will have expected the coach to probably manage that 3 points by probably introducing more defenders or defensive, midfielders to stabilize that defensive stuff, particularly the time they hit the bar. One would have expected that this a kind of a call to action that let me just bolster the defense line such that this will not have access to the territory. But unfortunately, he couldn't manage that. It was also agitated to get more goals, and you remove a striker. He affected the striker Osimhen and deployed this man that never even scored for Nigeria. Victor Boniface. So, and everything just boomerang. So it's from the NFF. And if you consider even the efforts of this Sepuchel, the last AFCON, you know that to me, personally, I don't suppose this kind of coach we have. Yes, we have better and more experienced, more exposed players than Malian. But we also what happened against Mali in quarterfinal. This man was, the Ivorian were 1 man down and the Malian were 11. At the 9 minutes, the Ivorian scored and they used their man to defeat this man, this El Sepuchel, and they just evicted them. Someone who could not even make it to the semi-final of AFCON. Now just because we have better players, we have more exposed players, and look at what happened. He couldn't manage the game management. And we have not seen anything yet. Because the kind of coaches we are getting for Nigeria, I don't think they are in the mood. They are in the caliber of the kind of players we have across the world. We have players literally across the world, but we don't have a coach who can muster them, who can blend them to a team and get us what we are. How can Zimbabwe come to Nigeria here and do us? So look at what Pomfrey said. He said a team like Zimbabwe, Nigeria should have defeated them 3-4-0. But look at the coach we used. Look at what happened. Look at you deploy somebody who has been, online, who is used to the right flank, moving from that, right back up front in his team, Nottingham Forest. Now you put him in left flank. You play a lot of them out of their position. So I don't know. I don't really understand. The kind of federation that didn't want to Nigerian football. We have players, but we don't have good board for NFL. We don't have good coaches to really get us to where we are going. I think that's my personal opinion about it.
One big question is how do they interview coaches for the Super Eagles? What kind of questions do they ask? What criteria do they use in picking coaches for the Super Eagles? Do they just give them based on I don't know? It's so funny. Hello,
see, I can be. I don't know what is happening, and I put my phone at the very peak, but the voice there is not that okay.
Okay, so what?
So I think hello, that's me.
Okay. I said, how do they pick coaches for the Super Eagles? What kind of interview, what kind of questions do they ask them? What are the criteria for picking coaches for Super Eagles? Do they just pick them based on the fact that they've got somewhere? Do they pick them based on the fact that they know the players and know or talk about formation, talk about use of players? Because I feel there should be some criteria that should be used in picking a coach for a team. You have to look at it.
I think there's something called antecedent, track record. We should a team like Nigeria who has won AFCON 3 times. Any coach we are going to get must be a kind of title-winning coach, someone who has won either AFCON, either at the club level, maybe like UEFA or whatever. Tercero has nothing like that in his record. You need to judge just a beginner, and in terms of national team. Then also this one, Malian, the only record we can trace to him is that he took Mali to quarterfinal and was defeated with the 10-man, team. So we should have kind of a standard, if you like, benchmark that such a coach must be somebody who has international experience, who has won the title, who has probably won something, a similar title, at least that could match up with the kind of caliber of players we have across globe. But we don't seem to look at how our players are or how exposed our players are. We are only concerned about a kind of coach that could listen to us, that could do our bit. We can just select players for, we must do this player, we must do that player.
I actually also felt that the players called to camp were actually picked for Eric Charles. And I also want to say that don't you think there's need for us to change the technical department of the NFF? I think the people managing that department, maybe I feel there's need for us to change the people there.
Vincent, let us not flog this issue. There was a time coach, the technical director of NFF said something that he did not even know how those players were selected. Which means that the technical department was aware of how those players were invited. He did not even have any input. The coach there was never a time that a press conference that this coach, with technical department, and now ask some question, why invited that. It means some people somewhere are dictating the pace, for these.
Well, Mr. Sunday, thank you so much. Because time is not our friend. Thank you so much. We appreciate your contribution, and we hope to bring more, of course, on this program in subsequent editions. Thank you so much, Mr. Sunday.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure, patient. You are doing a good job.
Thank you so much. Well, I think the way it actually shows that players being called to the Super Eagles camp are actually being handpicked by some people in authority. Most of them are not actually, because we want that calling 23 players from abroad to the Super Eagles and having 10 of them sitting on the bench almost all through the game, and calling 10 strikers, and while 5 of them actually sit on the bench. There's need for the people, for the NFF, of course, to ensure that they give free hand to the coaches and the technical department. I think, who knows? So some people in authority might be the one calling players to camp for the Super Eagles right now. Because I said it, when the moment I saw the lineup, I said this is the same lineup, Pesero used, same lineup, Finidi also used. So it means there's some people behind the call-up of players to Super Eagles. Well, let's leave that for now. We'll come and talk about that in our next edition. I want to thank you for staying glued to this our station, 3M Sports Channel, where we talk about Nigerian football. And I want you to go subscribe and, of course, click like to ensure that we try to give you more of our best in the future. Thank you so much. I remain Mr. Akami. See you on Monday for another edition on this program.